Now, the Namibian Dolphin Project conducts research on whales, dolphins, and turtles in Namibia and Southern Africa with the aim to promote the conservation of marine wildlife and the natural integrity of areas of ecological importance. Joining us to talk to us about the work of the Research Foundation, Chelsea Kovalcsik from the Namibian Dolphin Project. Good morning, Chelsea, and welcome to Good Morning, Namibia.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
What exactly is it that the project does?
Yeah, so the Namibian Dolphin Project focuses on whales and dolphins in Namibia and Southern Africa. We do also conduct research on seals and jackals, mola mola, but our main focus is whales and dolphins. And so we try to get bioacoustics of dolphins, we try to get migration patterns of humpback whales, we try to understand why they're stranding, what's happening, and really get a better picture of what's going on in our ocean.
How did the project come about?
Yeah, so the project came about roughly 10 years ago by Simon Elwin, and we have a much larger foundation. It's Sea Search, Research and Conservation, and that is based in Cape Town, South Africa. And we just realized that there was a data gap here in Namibia on whales and dolphins, and humpback whales, for example, migrate from Angola to Antarctica. And so Namibia has such a huge coastline that it's really important to be here collecting that data and understanding what's going on, as well as the endemic heavy-sides dolphins, which are here, the common bottlenose dolphin, and dusky dolphins, which all still need more research to be done on them.
You also have a very strong social media presence where you keep your community informed. Why is that important for you?
Yeah, because we realize that we don't want to be helicopter scientists. We want to make sure that we are here, we're integrated in the community, we're present, and people understand what we're doing. If we're out on the boat and we're snapping photos or we're getting close to an animal, that can be alarming. Or if we're taking biopsy samples from a humpback whale, that's very surprising. And we want people to know why we're doing it, why it's important, and not that we're just people harming the wildlife. And so we figured our greatest asset is social media. It's our community. It's making sure we're present. And so we do that by posting on social media, updating people, and letting them know, hey, this is who we are, this is what we're doing, and this is why we're doing it.
What does a helicopter scientist do?
Yeah, so, well, a helicopter scientist is kind of just a person who comes into a community, conducts research, and then just leaves. They don't bring that information or that data back to the community. And it's an issue because, I mean, Walvis Bay has been so kind to us, all of Namibia has. And so we want to give back that data so we can inform decisions, so we can protect the wildlife. So we're a community of people all working together. We're not just scientists over here and Namibia over here, right? We are together working to protect the same resources.
You spoke about biopsy samples of humpback whales.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that, please.
Yeah, so a lot of whales have been stranding, and those have been juvenile humpback whales. And what we're trying to do is figure out the cause of death of these animals. Why are they stranding? What's going on? And a really great way to do that is to collect biopsy samples. So we collect skin and blubber, we collect barnacles if there are any on the animal, which we had a really cool social media post about that, and we'll collect baleen. And this tells us a story about the animal. It really gives us history of where has the animal been, what has it been eating, what is it going through, which tells us about the individual animal, but also our ocean in general. It tells us like what's going on out there. And so, yeah, so we try to collect that from every animal, and so that we can use that for figuring out cause of death and then also different analyses in the future.
What have we learned about cause of death primarily?
Yeah, so like I said, they're juvenile humpback whales, and what we're seeing is that they're just stranding pretty skinny. So they're hungry. We haven't noticed any sort of parasites or diseases or anything like that. We just know that a lot of these whales are making their trip for the first time from the warmer waters of Angola, south to Antarctica, to their feeding grounds. And so they're inexperienced. They're young, they're doing it by themselves, and we're not alarmed at seeing all of these whales stranding because we know that it's a natural process. And on the flip side of that, we have more humpback whales in our waters now than we've ever had, not ever, but that we've had in a very long time. And so that's really good.
What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, a really good, positive global conservation effort. So around the world, people have recognized, one, how amazing humpbacks are and how important they are. And so different countries have put in different rules and regulations because of the data collected. And so that's allowed them to inform decisions that have allowed them to save the species and rebound the humpback whales. So because we have more in our waters, we're going to see more strand. And it's really sad and it's really unfortunate, but it's natural. And we're not really concerned. We're not noticing anything that is alarming in any of that sense.
Dolphins are also fascinating creatures.
Yes.
Please talk to us about their fascination with human beings, particularly on boat cruises.
Yeah, so I mean, dolphins are unbelievably social creatures. And that is just part of the allure of the animal, is we can connect with them on that level as humans are so social. So really, like, they just want to play. They're fascinated and they're curious about us in the world in which they don't get to be a part of. So when boats are going by and it's making a lot of noise, and then humans are swimming by or whatever it is, it's like, what is this? What's going on? And that's kind of also why we hear all these stories of dolphins saving humans. It's just because they have this tight-knit culture that is very similar to humans and probably in some ways even greater than our social structure. And so that's why, like, they see a human in trouble and they'll save them, or they'll, you know, they're jumping around humans and they're swimming by and they're just curious, they're fascinated, and they're very social creatures.
That sounds so sweet.
Yeah.
How exactly do they save a human being?
Yeah, so there's been different stories of humans. There was a tsunami once, and there was the earthquake, and then tsunami, the rescuers were going back into land to go check on people. They were divers, and this pod of dolphins were pushing them out to sea, and 30 minutes later, a huge tsunami wave came. But the humans who were far enough out to sea were rescued, and so they didn't get, they weren't in that wave. Or just people being lost out at sea, or people swimming and a big shark comes nearby. And not that sharks are bad, scary creatures, but the dolphins were there to kind of swim around the human and protect them in that way. And we don't have an exact answer, but we know that their tight communal structures plays a part of that.
So endearing.
It is.
Chelsea, any final remarks this morning, please?
Yeah, you know, I really hope that people appreciate the wildlife here and they get their chance to see whales and dolphins, and they understand that we coexist with these animals. We're not humans and animals. We are humans and animals together. And our understanding of that, the data collection, seeing them out on boats, will only improve our connection with nature and also our time with them. And, you know, hopefully we see more of them as their populations grow and as we understand their structures a little bit better.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for the great work that you and your colleagues are doing.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
That was Chelsea Kovalcsik. She is the Field Education Officer at the Namibian Dolphin Project, talking to us about the fascinating conduct of these sea creatures.